Okay. Let's go. Good morning. How is everybody doing? What the hell is today? Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, boy, what a freaking day yesterday, huh? Just, just chock full of, just full, an absolutely full day. Chucky comes back. We get a goalie fight, and then the Canes, almost. So close, but so far away. Damn it. Good game, though. So, last night, or excuse me, yesterday in the NHL, unfortunately for us, we did get some help and then we didn't take advantage of it. So, the Hurricanes beat the Sabres in regulation. Excuse me, the Avalanche beat the Caps in regulation. The Penguins did win. We lost. The Wild beat the Leafs 6-3. Flyers won 2-1 over the Golden Knights. Blackhawks shut out the Jets. The Devils beat the Flames in overtime. Ducks beat the Rangers, and the Islanders beat the Canucks. So that still leaves us, it still leaves us 5 points out of the 7 seed and 4 points out of the 8 seed. We no longer have a game in hand on the Sabres, and we have just the one game in hand on Boston, and we have a game in hand on Toronto. So we continue to hover, but like there's Boston having won 6 in a row. Again, they've gone on so many streaks this year. Like Chucky said after the game, we need to start winning and get on a streak now. We can't wait till after the Olympics. So I'm glad somebody over there is feeling some urgency. Hey, Real, how you doing, bud? Says I'm more upset about probably losing Mikula than loss itself. That's half the starting defense out now. Sorry, but at some point you have to start considering the idea we missed the playoffs. Let's just hold off. Let's just see, because I think, remember we had seen Mikula have that injury a few days ago. It looked like he was rubbing a hamstring. Might have been a hip, but it kind of looked like he was rubbing a hamstring. You know how those things can be. He gutted it out. Maybe he tweaked it again. So maybe it's something with some rest and some downtime. Can we just start a petition to not have any Panthers go to the Olympics? Jeez. Hey, Burned Oil. It's really awesome you do a podcast on a daily, regardless of if there's a game or not. I appreciate that, and I am privileged to have this microphone. You know what I mean? I'm doing this for 10 years. And so I don't like it. Like when I look at it from the opposite side of things, the people that I like to watch, like Dudley Duron on his football content. I know that when the Dolphins do something, he's got content out. You know what I mean? I know it. It's consistent. And so that's what I strive for is for that consistency. So I appreciate that. Shines, how you doing? Reinhardt looks like he's sick and tired of being the only player earning his paycheck. He's looking crispy, man. You know what I mean? Honestly, I wonder if he's sick. He was looking kind of pale yesterday. Pale for him. Craig says, Chucky didn't even bring any expected energy. Bob's rebound control has been trash all year. Bob was probably more pissed at getting run into than anything. All-around pathetic effort, not done yet. Oh, boy. Craig, we've lost Craig. That's it. We've lost Craig. That's not good. Burry, if Paul Maurice would have fought the Sharks coach last night, Paul would have won. Just fight quick, just not to damage his glasses. Hey, Silva. Yeah, give us a few more goalie fights, right? Hey, Simon. Just beautiful, man. I loved it. If we don't win, like I said last night in the recap, if we don't win the cup this year, it's 1 cup, 2 cups goalie fight, and we'll take it if that's how it has to be. Hungry, man. Yeah, I know. I know you're talking about man. That was a rough way to lose a game. They had it right there. Just keep taking what the defense is giving you. Feel bad for Beck though. You know he's gonna have nightmares about that his whole life. Dylan says my mom was in the bathroom and I started going nuts screaming, Bobby, fight, and she told me to calm down. Hey, Braves, I'm extra proud to own a Bob jersey now. Yep. Man, Simon, I don't know when they're coming back. Hopefully Marchand soon. We need Marchand back because the third line of Rodriguez with Greer and Sam Miskevich is not going to cut it. It is not. Rodriguez is kind of slowed down a little bit. Samo's still out there getting the crap beat out of him, and Greer's a fourth liner. We need to get Marchand back out there on the ice. Ghost says, Jaws, I think it's because you've been wearing the Red Cats jersey. Good call wearing the white. Think we need a change of luck via jersey superstition. If that doesn't work, might have to shave. Oh, no, I just shaved right before I went on. Look at that. It's so beautiful, huh? Last man says the Cats have tired legs. Yeah, some of the guys for sure. There's no way to even deny it at this point. You can see it out there on the ice. And even Maurice is saying we're slow to pucks. AKA, we ain't skating. AKA, the burnt, the crisp. You can see it. You can see it, man. Colin says we need the Wild, Sharks, and Preds to win tonight. Hey, Great White. He says, Jaws, when Trump buys Greenland, what team would I move there? The Greenland Red Wings? Well, I mean, wouldn't you think? I mean, if as long as you're going with that Minnesota, right? I mean, wouldn't that just tie in perfectly? He buys Greenland, and then as part of the he does the Insurrection Act, and then he takes the Wild and he puts them in Greenland. Nobody take me seriously now. I'm not starting politics. It's funny, okay? It's a joke. Ha 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 ha. Yeah, Lucas. Kachuk was hit hard, but I think he liked it. And I don't mean I got hit, but like that he said in his interview that was kind of like the last thing that he got hit hard a couple times, and he was like, "Okay, I'm good." Like it was like a box that he checked off to know that his body was okay. Hey, Vincent says next thing is Bob going to start scoring goals. What's wrong with his team? Lack of passion. Has anybody paid attention to Petrie during that whole thing? His signing was a mistake. Well, so let's look at that. I don't think Bob's going to start scoring goals, but it would be welcome. I don't necessarily know that it's lack of passion. I think the result looks like lack of passion. I just think they're burnt, man. I mean, I guess you could call it lack of passion. Emotionally, physically, like you could just see it on the ice. When's the last time Sam Bennett hit somebody? When's the last time Bennett hit somebody that was noticeable? You know, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you, but and then as far as Petrie is concerned, I mean, at this point, if we didn't have Petrie, we'd have, I guess, Horvolka. Why can't we have Horvolka? Hey, if Mikkel is actually hurt, can we try Horvolka, please? Like, what do we got to do to get that guy on the ice? Craig says at this point, Reinhardt might want to slip on a pool toy and miss the Olympics. Yeah, no questions asked. Lucas says, Linus Allmark addressed the rumors today and said about how men's mental health is stigmatized due to rumors being pushed not just by channels like this one, but even the big media outlets on TSN. He didn't say Flying Fluffy Hockey on. He didn't name us on he didn't name us by name, did he? Damn it. I'll take the bad publicity. We didn't push it. We talked about it no different than anybody else and saying that that's what we heard. But it's interesting that men's mental health is stigmatized due to rumors being pushed not just by channels. That's so weird. I'm not necessarily disagreeing with him. I'm not sure how stupid people pushing rumors stigmatizes men's mental health. I'm not even arguing against it. I'm just thinking about it from a logical perspective. I'm not advocating for pushing stupid rumors, but I'm not sure how he's saying that stigmatizes men's mental health. I don't understand. I mean, I get what he's saying, but I'm not sure I get it. Real says they were distracted by the Canes game. Chucky, I think, posted on his Instagram showing that he got to the game. Yeah, that team is evil. Oh, Craig, I say you're not done. I mean, the Cats aren't done yet. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, the block punt was hard, man. Yeah. And we do need Marchand. Hey, David. So it says, based on the play last night, Ekblad, Forsing, Balinskis, Bornfoot, Petrie, Sabrango. God. Yee. Oh. The fact that we're still sitting here within a stone's throw of the playoffs truly is amazing. At this point, hey, Simon, haven't been to the gym in a couple of days, so I'm going to get into the sauna today. That's for sure. Wait, hold on a second. What we got? Hold on, I see something here. Hey, thank you, Great White. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Yeah, to start. Yeah, we'll move Minnesota to Greenland. I think it wraps things up rather nicely. Thank you, bud. David says, I think half the team is injured, and the ones left getting tired from giving all they have just to tread water. Yep. Petrie should be sent to the shadow row. David says, got to be the Greenland Vikings too, right? Then just wall up Minnesota. Oh. Yeah, Craig, exactly. Too many missing guys, and the guys on ice spending too much energy to tread water. No doubt. No doubt, man. Goat says, of all the teams that have made the playoffs last 3 years, the Cats could be just as bad as the Rangers, Jets, Washington, Vancouver, Blue Devils, and Kings, but we're okay. Bubba told me we're making the playoffs. If you watch the recap, I was in the middle of doing the recap. He's guaranteeing we're making the playoffs. When Bubba speaks, I listen. We were making the playoffs. I'm not even worried about it at this point. He didn't promise the third cup. But Simon, do I think we need to do any trades? No. Not unless we can trade guys. If we can make some trades to just have some guys to come in for like a month or 6 weeks until everybody else gets healthy. Honestly, what we need is just for Bill Zito to ban all Florida Panthers from going to the Olympics. If we can do that, then we don't need to trade for anybody. Craig says, we've been saying it all year. Every team gives their best efforts versus the champs. So the Cats get every team's best effort in comparison. Yep. Lucas says he said fans were calling his family about the rumors. Yeah, he didn't say Panther fans specifically, right? It's tough, man, because like that stuff gets out there and it takes on a life of its own. And everybody's got this preconceived, not just confirmation bias, but if you see somebody on social media, if it's everything ends up divided one way or another, in the sense that, like, if you see somebody say something on sports, but then you'll look at their feed and you disagree with them obnoxiously politically, you might not agree with or believe what they have to say with sports. Like, it just ends up divided into all these, not just cliques, but I don't know what the answer. I don't know what can be done about it. I mean, social media has just exacerbated. It's just shown a light on how people really treat each other behind closed doors. Hey, JC. Yeah, David, we really can't, unfortunately. Hi, Alechka. Says, I've accepted the fact that this season ain't it. We don't look right no matter who's on the ice. The best players are not playing like they used to. I mean, I'll disagree with you. I disagree with you. Now, I'm not saying we're guaranteed to win a cup, but I still feel like when I saw when by the end of the game, what I saw in that third period with Bennett, Kachuk, and Verhaeghe gave me some hope. Now, what I think needs to happen is we need to get Marchand back, number one. And I think we need to go Lundell, Lusterine, and Marchand again as the top to get that group going again. And then Rodriguez with Reinhart and Samoskevich to get Reinhart maybe a few, not as many minutes, and to help Rodriguez out every once in a while. We definitely need to change the Lundell, Lusterine, and Reinhart line. It is a black hole from which no offense may return. So hopefully Marchand, we get him back. We can only lose so many guys, but I don't feel like these guys are going to quit. I really don't. David Canes gave it a good. The chat jumped. Damn it! Hold on a second. The chat jumped on me. Jeez, the chat. I must have been so far behind. Hold on a second. What the hell happened to the chat? I must have just got like 50 comments at once. David says, Canes gave it a good run and it had a chance in the end. David, I'm curious on your opinion. Do you think Beck made a mistake on that last throw, or do you think the wide receiver was supposed to shorten the route and look for the ball because the safety was coming over? Curious what you think. Go, Silva. Remember earlier this year when I was advocating for Balinska's born foot as a joke? I wish it was still a joke. Yeah. Yeah, David, we agree. Hey, Vincent, are we going to watch the fight again or not? I only watched it 50 times on my own. I can't watch it here. It's copyrighted. I did put out a video with the highlight. If I watch it here while we're live, Vincent, I'll get suspended for a week. Can't do it, unfortunately. Mike says, I would say this team is tired, but I haven't seen a whole lot of full game efforts this year. Real says, bench Peachtree put me out there, coach. I weigh about 130 pounds and can't fight or skate, but I can fall over and trip McDavid. Leshka says, what's the point of making the playoffs if we're not going to go all the way? Just let them rest. I don't know, man. I don't know. Leshka, how about we just look at it this way? We'll look at it from a selfish point of view. I don't know if I'll hit 10,000 subscribers this year if the Panthers don't make the playoffs. How about that? I probably need one round of playoffs to get to 10,000 subscribers. And that's the truth of it. We're creeping along, but I need playoffs to get this channel to 10 grand, to 10K. Hey, Lightning Girl, I know what the hell. It is a crazy season. Absolutely. Luke Hughes dislocated his shoulder. Jeez. Colin, could they move on from J-Bo? That's another name. I don't know why he's in the lineup over Cunnin. It's not been close. Cunnin, I think, has been the better player, and he's better in the face-off circle. I know I'm behind in the chat. I'm trying to do the best I can to catch up without missing too many people. NHL, I really hope Bob is getting into the trenches, riles something up in the team. I agree 100%. Right, they're looking at a 3 or 4 game losing streak from not making the playoffs, but a 4 or 5 game winning streak could put them in. Hey, Patel, it was disappointing with the Canes' loss, but they exceeded my expectations. It could be like the 22 Panthers as an 8 seed, and we all know what happened the following year. Do they have a quarterback for next year? Sharks Radio was saying that's the first goalie fight in 27 years. Maybe they meant for the Sharks? Huh. Yeah, David, I hear you, man. I mean, I've been a lifelong Canes fan. Obviously, I'm not pretending that I've been paying attention anytime recently, but it still would have been fun. I feel bad for the kid at the end of the game, man. It's just like, just really felt bad for him. Craig says Cats will be fine in the playoffs, and the 7-8 seeds are easily within reach. Colin agrees with the puppets. Exactly, David. First fight for the Sharks. Gotcha. Lechka says, my hope is like it is 0% right now. All this bad losses to the Habs, Toronto, even the Canes, the blowout. So you think it's over. All right, Lechka. I'm telling you, Bubba promised me we're making the playoffs. Mike says, damn shame the Canes lost on a special teams play. Feel like it was stolen. It was so frustrating. NHL says, Mackey just needs to beef up and hit the weights. Kid gets pushed around way too easily. 100% agreed. But it's funny. I was thinking about that yesterday, NHL. He does. He's constantly getting the crap beat out of him. And maybe he's not on the ice for the playoffs. But I like that Maurice is sticking with him, because one thing that you can know for sure is that he's going to recognize Sam Iskevich will recognize it himself and get motivated to get bigger and stronger each year. He's still a young kid. You know what I mean? You'd like to see him put on 10 more pounds. And, he needs to be a little bit more aware of his surroundings too. Hey, JC. Yeah, losing Gadget was a bigger blow than we thought. We need him out there. Ghost says, best thing about being a Panther fans is we're all Delulu for loving this team, trusting Chicken Chuck and Bubba Puppets to the end. Bubba interrupted the recap, and I heard him loud and clear. Guarantee. So it says, wow, I never thought I'd hear Jaws advocate for Samo on a line without Bennett and Kachuk. Yeah, I think right now, Silva, we're in such dire straits that, and it kind of feels a little bit like Sam Iskevich's confidence has kind of tailed off a little bit. He needs to get one. He needs to get a goal. Maybe playing with Reinhart might help. You know what I mean? Maybe Sam Iskevich's skating ability can force Reinhart to skate a little bit more, because he's coasting a lot. And, I love the kid. I don't want to trade him, but I'm not completely oblivious to his play right now. But that said, I still would be furious and would think I think it would still be a mistake to trade him to try to win something this year. That just seems like that would really be stupid, because we have invested a lot of time in this kid. And just because he hasn't put the puck in the back of the net right now this season, I'm nowhere near thinking about wanting to give up on him. Look at the improvement that Verhaeghe's made in his game over the years, Hey, Colby. Bob should have channeled that anger by playing well. Are we ignoring the fact he calls all 3 goals by himself? Nah, Colby. We got to disagree there, man. The third goal especially, Bob kicks out the rebound, and Sam Iskevich was late covering his man coming back and left it, and the puck's in the back of the net. Could his rebound control be a little bit better? Sure. But, first of all, it's only 3 goals. It's 3 goals. If you can't win a home game when your goalie gives up 3 goals and you still have a whole period and 2/3 of a period to come back in the game, then that's not on your goalie. You know what I mean? We're not playing well as a whole cohesive unit, and for reasons. Real says Beck has been throwing bad picks his whole entire career. It's fitting. I see. Patel says Beck made a mistake, I think, because he was kind of interception prone during the Louisville game. Gotcha. Colby says he's so salty that he's been asked that he went on to fight Ned. Oh, no, absolutely. He 100% had some stress to take out, for sure. Yeah, that's right, Craig. Alsher is also a decent option on defense. Colin says it was a miscommunication between Beck and the wide receiver, even though they should have kept running the ball or not taking the deep shots. That's what I didn't understand is you got plenty of time. Just take what they're giving you and just move methodically. Exactly the same situation that happened to the Bears. Hey, scientist. So the Panthers won't be able to bring back Jones till they clear $2.03 million. What do I think the moves are? We only have 2 scratches, Cunningham and Sabrango, and their cap hit is not enough. What about if we send Boquist? So I'll look at the roster. Boquist moving on from Boquist could solve the problem. Now, we don't know what's going on with Mikla either, right? But we've got a few weeks to figure that out because now that he's on LTIR, I think it's either January 29th or January 31st is when he's eligible to come back. You don't want to move Cunnin, Sabrango for sure. What about Vilmanis? We can move him back. We can move him down with impunity. That's still not enough. We would need 3 of the minimum wage guys. So Sabrango, Vilmanis, and I guess, well, not Balinskis, but Bornfoot, scientist, right? Vincent is what you're saying is that Bob is sure he's going to be in the playoffs. That's something to be said about the possibility that Zito might give him that opportunity if they choke before the break. Oh my God, could you imagine? Real says Jaws just stream wearing Leafs gear and I'll get to 20,000. If I would have had this, if this channel was a Leafs channel, jeez. But we're not, and that's okay. Eventually, it'll all work. Goat says we really should be starting Tarasov. He's been performing consistently, something Bob has not been doing at all. I get it. Patel says, I saw many complain about no penalty call on a hit after the whistle by Erod. Yeah, I was kind of surprised that they didn't even everything out that way. JC says, correction, losing both Cooley and Gadjevich was the straw to book the camel's back. They're extremely pivotal to our identity. No doubt there. Hold on, I see another super chat here. Boy, I can't keep up with the chat today. I'm doing the best I can. Holy moly, you guys are on fire today. Thank you, Great White. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Great White. He says, I can't wait for the new Chucky's voice. Yeah, I had it. I had it last night. I had the intro all ready to go. And then when that goalie fight happened, I'm like, yeah, no. And that's okay. It gives me a couple of days to work on it to get it a little bit more, a little bit better. But I absolutely, I promise, maybe I'll do maybe if I can get it right, maybe I'll do a Bob and Chicken Chuck intro now that Chuck, yeah, I'll work on a shtick with that. Thank you again, Great White. Lechka says we used to smack good teams last season. Now we lose to both. We're going to be okay. I promise. I promise. Simon wants to know how I think we're going to do in the next few games. Let's look at that. Let's look at that, Simon. So, all right, we've got the Jets. That's 2 points. We got the Wild. That's a point. We've got the Blackhawks. That's going to be 2 points. Then we come home to play the Mammoth. That's 2 points. Then we got the Blues. That's 2 points. Then we got the Jets again, 2 points. Then we got the Sabres again. Screw it. 2 points. But they take us to overtime. And then we'll when are we going to lose? We're just not going to lose again. We're just not going to lose again until the All-Star break. That's how I view it. We have to. Maybe we'll lose to the Lightning on the last game before the All-Star break. These are not – the games are either winnable or we need them because Jets, Wild, Blackhawks, Mammoth, Blues. Like, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games with the one game in the middle where we come home. It's so stupid. We play the Blackhawks in Chicago on the 25th. We're home against Utah on the 27th. And then we're back in St. Louis on the 29th. It's so stupid. We've got to get on a run, especially right before the All-Star or the Olympic break. Jets, Sabres, Bruins, Lightning. Like, that can make or break the season right there. Silva says, at this point, move Petrie down instead of Bournefoot. I mean, Petrie would probably clear too. I suspect Petrie would clear. Scientist says, the thing is that we move 3 minimum wage guys, so we don't have enough players to put on the ice. And Boquist won't relieve his whole salary. It's a so scientist, I think what I'll do, maybe I'll have to do another video to look at it. Maybe I'll have to, maybe this afternoon, this evening, I'll have to take a look at it and see what I can figure out would be the best thing. So you're saying, let me see here. Let's go to the cap space here. So you're saying we need 2.03, right? So Vilmanis is 855. Studs is already down. I thought we already waived Studs. Are you sure they're not still counting Studnicka? Because Puckpedia still has Studnicka on that. They still have Studnicka's waivers as pending. So is that 2.03? Is that including Studnicka, scientist? Exactly, Mike. If this were a Leafs channel, none of us would be here. That's a good point. Gadjevich on LTIR will also allow us to have the guys on the ice, but it only delays the issue. Yeah. Aleshka says, I don't know how you guys are all positive. Hello, Miami is in mourning. The silence is definitely deafening. All 3 teams lost last night. At least it's not 26 degrees there, though. You all have that. It's 26 and windy. The Real says the Canes losing cheered me. The Canes losing cheered you up. Yeah, Colin, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna try to get it to this afternoon. Somebody came in and bought a boatload of stuff on eBay, so I got a ton of pack and ship this afternoon. So with Studs, it's 2.8. All right, so then if you move down, yeah, you could put Gadjevich on LTIR. That's true. And don't forget, well, Yeah, I think what I'll have to do is look at this a little bit later. We might have to go into a position of only going with 6D. You're not going to do that with Balinskis. But you definitely would move Bornfoot and Sabrango down. That's 1.5, right? So Sabrango and Bornfoot going down. And then Vilmanis. Wouldn't that be enough? Sabrango, Bornfoot, and Vilmanis, scientist? Wouldn't that be enough? I absolutely, Great White would give Reinhardt a rest. I think I said last night in the recap, sit him down as soon as Marchand comes back. He's never going to happen. Reese isn't going to do it. I hate that he's going to the Olympics. I wish he was just going to go take a nap. Yeah, studs should clear today. Yeah. Lechka says, I would rest the entire team. Might as well just call up the entire checker team. Poor Olechka. You've had a rough week. Gold Slayer says, as an FSU fan, laughing about UM's crumble and poor sportsmanship. We're used to it. The rest of the nation got to see it firsthand. Cats were my only letdown, but it was against a dangerous team. There you go, Skyler. He says, we're making the playoffs. Paul has a plan. We should never doubt these Cats. I agree with you. Valechka says, Paul seems as dejected as you. We're going to be okay. I promise. I promise. Scientist does have an Excel spreadsheet that you can play with the numbers and it tells you if you're over or under. Yeah, scientist. Yeah. Yeah. You know my email. Email it to me. Oh, by the way, Colby, I'm going to try to get to your email today too. Skyler says all the goalies are afraid about him now. We'll win. I like it. Is Paul's plan in the room with? Oh, we're just not that far out. We're really not. We're really not. It's gonna be okay. All right. We only have to pass, even if you just said, let's just pretend, even if you just said the Bruins are gonna have the 7 seed and we're just chasing the 8 seed. We're behind the Sabres, Leafs, Flyers, and Caps. And we're only behind at most by 4 points. Like, we're going to be okay. I really liked how Chucky on that line looked last night. I mean, I wouldn't be against mixing some other things up a little bit, but we got to stop losing, guys. That's really the biggest thing. NHL says there's 2 parts to us making it. The East needs to cool it, and we need to get on a streak. Let me see. Here's a good question. Let's look at the Sabres schedule. Let's look if they have anything crazy like a long road trip that might look like a difficult time for them. So upcoming, they got the Preds, Canadians, Islanders, Leafs, Kings, Canadians. They got some home games there. Then they got the Panthers, Lightning, and Penguins right before so they do have a little bit of a tough spot with Leafs, Kings, Canadians, Panthers, Lightning, Penguins before the Olympics. Do I see any really long road trips? Well, they've got after the Olympic break, they come back. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 game homestand. 2 games out west. I mean, Vegas, the Sharks, Kings, Ducks, Bruins, Wings. 1, 2, nothing that stands out. No, their schedule looks kind of normalish. Hey, Simon, well, we're going to start having the trivia on Thursday night during the intermissions. We're going to have the trivia Thursday night. And then I'm not streaming tonight, but tomorrow night, I'm going to figure out some. I'm not sure if it's going to be another hockey game. It might be another hockey game tomorrow night. Might do something on the men's channel. We'll see. I'll decide later. Wings, Leafs tomorrow night might not be a bad game. So we'll see how that goes. And then who else? Who else are we chasing? The Bruins. Well, we conceded the Bruins. I wonder, let's look at the Leafs schedule. Do they have anything crazy? Let's see. They're in the middle of a 5-game homestand right now, and that was the first game where they lost to the Wild, so that's not a big surprise. 1, 2. They do have, that's not even a hard trip. I'm trying to see if they have any really difficult, lengthy trips. Before the All-Star break, they've got the Kraken, Canucks, Flames, and then the Oilers. So that's nothing really overly difficult. They come home, they're home. Couple. No, I'm just trying to see if, oh, come on. Why did it take me? I'm just trying to see if the Leafs have anything significantly like a long road trip. No. I mean, towards the end of March, but it's the Blues, Ducks, Sharks, Kings, 4 games. So doesn't look like they have anything overly difficult schedule-wise. So that's not going to help us. All right, scientists, appreciate you. Real says, can the Atlantic team stop having games against each other? That's part of the problem, right? There's no doubt. I mean, even the Senators now have kind of, they've crept there. Even though they've lost 2, they're still, if they could have got their goalie situation taken care of, doesn't look like it's happening. Great White says Sharks TV was saying Rodriguez was a dirty player for that before the goalie. My thought, I watched the Nedeljkovic post game, and I noticed something different. I've really never seen Panther players do this before. I should be okay. That should come back. Nedeljkovic talked about. He even cursed, and they left it in the interview. He called the Rodriguez hit bullshit, and they left it in the TV interview. So I got a kick out of that. I mean, it was late. I mean, dirty. Rodriguez is probably about half the dude's size. I don't know that I would call it dirty. Was it a late after the whistle hit? Sure. Was I surprised that they didn't even out the penalties? Sure. But dirty's a bit much of a stretch. It was just a little bit late. Gotcha, scientist. Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah. Hey, Frank. How you doing, bud? So we got some We got some Canes talk in the chat here. That's okay. Lechka says, okay, y'all give me vibes of last night when I was fighting off Lightning fans. Oh, it's all right. It's okay. We're going to make the playoffs, and we're going to at least win a round. Let's see. Oh, here's my prediction. All right. Lightning. Let's see. Lightning, Canadians, Wings, Panthers, Sabres. Sabres will get the 8th seed. So all the wild card teams are going to come from the Atlantic, and it's going to be Panthers and the Sabres. And so that will put the Panthers most likely in line to play the Lightning in the first round, but maybe it'll just be the Hurricanes. Maybe we could finagle away. Maybe that's Paul's plan. Maybe that's Paul's plan, is to go through the Metro. Like going through the Canes and the Islanders or the Penguins. I mean, it could happen, right? Hey, Pro Wagon, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Anyone else want them to get Bob a rest and play Tarasov 4 or 5 in a row? Well, they ain't going to take Bob out for the next game after that fight. That's for sure. Now, in terms of what our schedule is and when Tarasov might see the ice again, we got Winnipeg Thursday, and then the Wild Saturday, and the Blackhawks Sunday. So Tarasov's going to get one of those games. Can't even begin to guess which one that they would give Tarasov. Maybe they'll give him the Wild game. Don't know. So you're going to give Tarasov one of those starts. And then we have another back-to-back on the 4th and 5th. So in between the back-to-back, if you play Bobrovsky Thursday and Saturday, and then you play Tarasov on Sunday, there's still 1, 2, 3, 4 more games before the second back-to-back. Now, the back-to-back is home against Boston and then on the road against Tampa. I wonder if you're going to just play Tarasov that Lightning game. If you play Tarasov in that Lightning game, then you need to give him one of the other 5 games that come in between the Blackhawks and the Lightning. So you wouldn't play him against the Sabres. I'd love to see him get like a couple of starts like the Blues and the Jets. But I just don't think Maurice is going to do it. I certainly wouldn't mind it, but I just don't think they're going to do it. Hey, Adonis. Hey, everybody. Don't know about y'all, but I think last night we were giving them some energy to get them back on track. I agree. That's exactly what I'm thinking, Adonis. Craig says, I said Metro route a month ago, Tampa Eastern Conference Finals. Yep. Yeah, we'll take it. We got to make that happen. Screw playing Montreal and Toronto or anybody else. Screw those teams. We don't want to play them. Oh, everybody, the sound is gone? Has anybody else lost my sound? Has anybody else lost sound? Let me know. Let me check my audio. It's showing that it still should be working, so I should still be working. Lechka says, I didn't expect that amount of rage from Bob. He's been frustrated, right? Prerogative, it might just be you, bud. It might just be you. Everybody else saying we're good. So sorry, bud. Great White says, like you said, Tarasov is playing great. Why give him back-to-back starts? I mean, I agree. How did Bobrovsky's save percentage get to last night after last night? 875 and a 309. God dang. So frustrating. I certainly hope that Bobrovsky isn't contemplating retirement and he wanted to get in a goalie fight before he retired. All right, thank you guys. That's okay, Prologan. It happens. Internet's doing great, Simon. No question. That's okay, Prologan. If nobody says anything, I don't know, right? It's all good. So, what do we got tonight? What are the games tonight? Let's see. So quite a few games, yeah, because it's a Tuesday. Wild Canadians, Senators, Jackets, Sharks playing the Lightning. So the Lightning get the Sharks on the second of a back-to-back. That makes a lot of sense. Of course it does. Bruins got to play the Stars. Sabres, Preds. Jesus. Blues, Jets, Devils, Oilers, and Rangers, Kings. So we need the Preds to win, right? I think that's the only team that we're really chasing that's playing right now. Oh, and the Bruins. So we need the Stars to win and the Preds to win. And that would be a lot of help because we're right on that border. But Chucky said that, nobody's happy with the position they're in. He's like, we're not in a good position, not at all right now. So I feel like he's coming back with a purpose. He did look like himself by the end of the game. That's for sure. Donna says, no, I think Bob did it for his team rather than his resume. He's the backbone of the team no matter what. But I'm glad to see his frustration with himself or the team be released. You could definitely tell that man was having a stress relief moment. There's no doubt. Mike said, I had to do a double take when Bob started taking off. Yeah, because, sometimes the goalie will come maybe to, center ice and then just kind of stop there. And when Kyle says, Nedeljkovic is in there, it didn't even cross my mind that Bobrovsky would come in, that he would do that. And so he starts skating in. And then once you saw those gloves come off, yeah, real. I can't believe the refs let it go. I know. Well, they were all back there so far. I don't think there was really anybody in a position. And Nedeljkovic had inserted himself in there, and the players aren't supposed to touch the goalie. So, yeah, Zen Bob to Warrior Bob. If you watch his post-game comments, he let a little bit of a just the slightest little bit of a smile out there. Because, he wants to win, right? So it's frustrating that we didn't get the 2 points. Thought maybe the fight would get them fired up. They did play better, and we had almost 40 shots on goal. So Real says, everyone's acting like Bob got beat easily. They fell together. Why does Reddit take the fun out of everything? They just hate us. You know what I mean? I felt like it was a pretty good tussle. Nobody got anything spectacular. Yeah, I mean, they might have landed some minor glancing blows. I don't think anybody got rocked or anything like that. They're goalies. You know what I mean? Nedeljkovic said he was just mostly just trying to not get hit. And, Bob's the first one that went down. So it was, you just, as long as nobody gets hurt, then it's all good, right? Great White, man. I don't know what happened last night. They fought. And it's so frustrating when that happens because they're driving the ball. They got plenty of time. They look like they're going to pull it off. And then they go for the hero ball. I don't understand why they didn't just keep taking what Indiana's defense was giving them. They had been running ragged the whole fourth quarter on them. There was no need at all to take that deep shot. It was so frustrating. Greg says, man, can you imagine seeing a Marshy cam during the goalie fight? Oh, that would have been great. Yeah, he's wanting to be out there. Yeah, Bob got Nedeljkovic's mask off first. I saw that. So, but Bobrovsky, he was pissed. You could see it in his face. Like he was just had some frustrating moments for sure. Gold says they shouldn't allow the players who can't take helmets off to fight someone that can. That fight with Reeves was not an honorable win. Are there some players that can't take their helmets off? I'm not sure. Oh, that's right, because that's right. That's right. With the new rules, some guys can and some guys can't. Yeah, that's a really good point, Goat Slayer. I hadn't thought about it that way, but that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, they shouldn't start, you know what I mean? But I guess you just don't know what happens on the ice. You know what I mean? You just never know who's starting what, who's saying anything. Christopher says, you can see in Bob's eyes running down the ice, he was out for blood. Yeah, no, he was lit, man, that's for sure. Gotcha, Simon. Appreciate you, buddy. Ghost says, you're just busting knuckles on a visor instead of cracking a dude in the cheek. Yeah. Yeah, it's not, it's not like you want to start aiming for the neck either. That's not okay. But we had a goalie fight. It was just spectacular. Haragan says, talking of goalies, how about Bussy, the one that got away? But let's see if he could sustain the form. Yeah, we've talked about Bussy a few times here. Really been surprised that nobody gave him a chance. He putzed around, played a lot of games in the AHL for a long time, and just nobody ever gave him an opportunity. And, we had to waive him to get him down to the AHL level. We don't have the cap space to keep three goalies. Generally speaking, most teams don't keep three goalies. They definitely didn't want to lose them, but you know what I mean? It happens. Real says, maybe next time we play Tampa, we get Bob versus Vasilevsky. Ooh, no, that's enough for Bob. He got out of that one. We don't need, especially this year with the way the injuries have been and all of that. We just don't, we don't need to take any chances there. You know what I mean? Don't need to take any chances that way with any more. And I guess Marie said we won't have an update on Mikkola until Wednesday. So hopefully it's just like I said earlier in the stream. It kind of felt like it was something with a hamstring from those few games ago. KY says, I like this new Bobby, gets so mad quickly. Well, and not just that, but like when he's giving up the goals, I've seen him more than once in the last couple of weeks just kind of just lay there in frustration. He did it again yesterday, laying on his back, just like you can just tell that he is just absolutely frustrated beyond belief with the way the season's gone and the lack of of puck luck that he's had. And I know the numbers are the numbers, and yeah, he hasn't been spectacular. But I mean, it's just only so many times, he's sliding one way, making a save, the puck and the rebound is just going right on guys' sticks. It's just frustrating. So Paragon, the thing with Jones going to LTIR is just because that cleared the cap space for Tkachuk without us having to make any other moves right now. In terms of Kulikov, I think we're still looking at mid-March for Kulikov, so maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the playoffs. Ghost Center says we're still on the same team for most of the season. Oh, you guys are talking about, you guys are, everybody's cool. It's all good, right? Matthew says Bob's getting older. He had a great get off my lawn moment. Yeah, dude's been frustrated. There's so many goals that have not been his fault this year. And I get it. Like, he's the goalie. He's got to stop the puck. And we see how Tarasov's numbers have been and all of that. But, guys get into slumps. Guys have good luck, bad luck, right? I mean, look at Verhaeghe. The new Verhaeghe has been what? Look like Verhaeghe for 2 weeks and then go back into nothingness and then look like, very, very streaky. So do I think we'll ever end up with another fight, Simon? I don't know. Probably not. That's why we all reacted. It was just such a beautiful thing to have it happen just like that. It really helped take some of the disappointment out of this season so far. Chucky's still he's saying the right things. Yeah, Swiggy's back a little bit. I think he's had some assists though. I know he hasn't been putting the puck in the back of the net again. What's he at right now? Come on, Paige. Load. Jeez. 14 goals. So, yeah, he's not been the same, but he did get a goal against Washington, and he did get a goal against Ottawa. So the puck's been going in a little bit. And another one against Toronto. So that's 3 in the last. He had really had a rough spot. He had gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games with only 1 point. And then since January 6th, he's got 1, 2, 3 goals and 5 assists in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. So maybe he's trending up a little bit more. We, now with Chucky back, maybe we can get Verhaeghe on a roll. We're going to need it for sure. Hey, thank you, Goat Slayer. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you, bud. He says, I love everyone here because we all love the Cats. Exactly. SPH says, oh my God, mid-March. Just have him take the year off. Just frustrated that every game a player gets injured and they push it next game. And then here we go. At least we have an excuse if we miss the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, Mikkola was definitely trying to gut something out. We know he missed a couple shifts a few weeks ago. So Dietrich says, Chucky at least admitted they're in a terrible spot in the standings and need to catch up before the scramble and after the trade deadline in the Olympics. Yeah, I saw that. I mean, he's saying the right thing. Somebody needed to say it. Somebody, we need Marchand back. We really do. And then we need Mikkola back and Jones back and Gadjevich back. And my God. How does Schwint do in the face-off circle yesterday? Or at least what did his face-off percentage improve? 41.4. So he must have had a decent night last night. Not playing a ton of minutes, the fourth line. Definitely not playing a ton of minutes. That's making things a little bit tougher on those top guys for sure. So, all right, everybody, I got to roll. I got a huge amount. Good stuff. I guess somebody came in and bought a bunch of stuff on eBay. So I got about 2 hours worth of pack and ship. I got to get that done, get it to the post office. Yeah, I know, Goat Slayer. Hearing us as Panther fans saying we need Marchand back. I know. It's surreal, man. It's surreal. Yeah, Great White. I remember when Wall would start, he would whack you with that. He would whack you with his paddle. So, all right, everybody. I got to roll. Appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out. Much love, appreciation. Thank you for all the super chats. Genuinely appreciate it. I'm not sure. I know I'm going to have something out football this afternoon about the coach and everything like that. Just depends on how long this other work takes me to do. And then tomorrow we'll be back at noon. And then either on the hockey channel or the men's channel tomorrow night, I'll be live. So I'll let you know which way that's going to go. And then let's just hope we get some help in the standings. No, the Titans hired Sala. Jeez. Gotcha. Well, I didn't want him, so that's okay. So McDaniel's running out of jobs, though. I hear people think McDaniel's going to go to Buffalo, which is wild. Mike says, I think Matthew will be able to pick up the energy with this team. He's been a major part of leadership on this team. And, of course, it's not just going to come back in one game. Yeah, I agree completely. So, all right, everybody. Appreciate y'all. And I will see you again mañana.